go.
Hey guys, it's puck time. It's Thursday. I'm a little depressed, but we'll get into that in a second. We're live. I love doing this show live. It just makes my day. Yesterday, one of the commenters pointed out that it felt like a real family in there. I could not agree more. I love the chat room. Read everything that you guys say. We respond, so please keep it up. Today's guests, Carmine Bianco and Dave Koken. Dave, let's start with you, dude. You're on a 10-0 college basketball run. Outstanding stuff. Congratulations. How you been?
Well, that pretty much explains it right there. These streaks are fun, and hopefully can keep it going for a few more days.
Carmine, Dave, very loquacious man that he is. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Dave, congrats on that run. Things are good. I've got a big weekend planned. Last night I did one of the things that I typically do 2 or 3 times a year. Prez, as you know, we have a mutual friend.
You had sex with our mutual friend?
Runs a big... Yes, I had. Yes. Anyways, I'm happily married.
Well, but, your wife is a mutual friend, Carmine.
Yeah, I'm not really sure she likes you, but that's something for another day, another show. No, I volunteered my time. I went downtown Toronto at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. There was a huge charitable event called Mining for You. All the big bankers and mining companies converge, and they have a big charitable poker event. There's no actual money to be won. Everything is donated. Prizes. Number one prize was a trip to the U.S. Open in the States. Lawrence, yeah, I know you're planning on going to England to Wimbledon, but that was the number one prize. Third place got tickets to Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, Stanley Cup Finals this year. So I go down. When I was younger, I used to be a poker dealer, so I volunteered to help out in dealing, and it was a great time. I worked for hung out. They had a Scotch collection that Dave, you would not believe. It was just all this 25-year-old Scotch, all this expensive stuff that they put out, because these guys are spending literally tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's unbelievable how much money. I think they raised close to $3 million on the night. So it was a great night, and I do it every year. I volunteer my time. I go down, I help out.
Okay.
And it was good. Anyways.
Okay, guys.
We're I'm looking for the live link to tweet out. Is it out there?
Yeah, the show's live. But listen, I got to be honest with you, Karm. Either that was a really boring story or you're a really boring storyteller. One of those two. Guys, thanks for logging on. Thanks for all the comments. We are looking at them. And Nick H., yeah, you got the old men today. And we'd like to refer to it as the wise men. But we'll take the old men. And I will not say regale over 2.5 times. I'm now already at 1. And Anthony, as far as do we ever make prop bet recommendations, we actually do a lot on the show, especially Alex and Andrew. More specifically, Andrew, we talk about goal scorers and how many points a guy's going to get in a game. But I don't foresee that happening on today's show. And I'm told by Johnny Detroit to settle down. Karm is like, I will spin kick your head off. Yeah, Karm, bring it, baby. Bring it. You bring it. Oh, by the way, Karm, I ate Italian last night.
Yeah, what was her name?
Maria.
Okay. I knew there was a joke in there. Anyway,
it wasn't a joke. I had lasagna, for Christ's sake. And hey, Vivi!
Johnny understands this stuff because Johnny's a wrestling fan. I would give you a DDT and just or a
dude, I'm camel clutching you after a superfly snooker, top rope, arm bar. Anyway,
you'd you be clutching your heart, because I would just beat the crap out of you, man. Listen, man, you put an Italian and a Jew in a ring, and I'm going to tell you right now, the Italian will win 100% of the time.
Yeah. Let's move on. Right, Dave Koken?
Dave, who's your money on?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to, well, you're bigger, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let's go. Karm, enough. We're not having
wait
a fight.
Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me sit here for 5 minutes and say nothing. Just want to point out, I'll mention that on a more depressing note, out last night for dinner. I mean, it's a ghost town around here with this coronavirus. Reservations not necessary. So I got a lot of friends in the service industry, and
yeah, it's a ghost town in my stock portfolio due to the coronavirus. Johnny's money is on Karm. Yeah, Johnny. The way it would.
Johnny's a
yeah. Anyway, you know what? I'm moving on. I finished Hunters last night. Prez plus 200, Karm minus 155. That's a book that's making a hell of a lot of juice. Dave Koken, 10-0 run in college basketball. Congratulations. Like, we got a great promo for you today. We'll get to it. I just want to give out our first promo. We're doing a new customer deal all week. Yesterday we had PZ49. That promo code is still active. PZ49, $70 off of a week of anyone's plays, so long as you're a new customer. And if $49 is too much, today's promo, $30 off of the 3-day all access to anyone's plays. PZ39, that's PZ39. A shit ton of games to go through today. We picked out the 4 games we think you people will be most interested in. And then we'll do all the games in the last minute of play. And yes, Zekin, we will get the Vice Prez on this show. That I promise you. And as far as the people who think I'm a lover, not a fighter, and Johnny Detroit, I'm a black belt. I was Canadian judo champion when I was 15 years old. And I got the pipes. Boston. They're playing Florida tonight on the road. Florida plus 140 over and under 6. This Florida team, and I'll go to you, Karm, first. They're just in a total free fall. And more importantly, they're losing every time I'm betting on them. They're going under every time I'm betting the over, and vice versa. And they're really struggling to score. Lost 3 in a row. Put up a 3 spot, a 2 spot, and a 0 spot. And they're playing this mighty Boston Bruins team. Winners of 3 in a row, including an outstanding effort on the road against Tampa Bay. I look at this game and I think to myself, Boston should win it, but I can't take them at minus 161. I can't take the over because Florida looks like they're anemic on the offensive side of things. But I can't take the under because they're one of the highest scoring teams in the league. I'm baffled. I'll hand it to you, Carmine Bianco.
Yeah, you know, up until a couple of weeks ago, Tampa was on that fantastic run, and I just thought it was a matter of time before they overtook the Bruins. And, you know, at the time, the Bruins had, lost 2 or 3 in a row. But, my God, this team is, they won, 12 of their last 15 of their last 20, 8 of their last 10 on the road. And, you know, they've got the second best road record in the East. I think it's behind Washington only. Florida, conversely, this team has completely fallen apart. And I don't know if it's because they played at a level well above their talent. While the team does have some talent or talent on the team, they played well above it. You know, they've lost 7 straight at home. They've only won 4 of their last 15 games overall. You know, the fact that they're still within sight of the Leafs for that 3rd seed in the Atlantic is incredible to me. You know, there are 16 games left. You split them 8-8 home and away, and 7 of those games are against Ottawa, New Jersey, Buffalo, and Montreal. So if they can win those games, it's doable. But I just don't see this team making the playoffs. They're downward trending to me. A lack in net tonight, 12-5-2, 2.44 goals against average against Florida. Bobrovsky, not so great against the Bruins, 3-7-2, 3.95 goals against average. Yeah, I don't want to lay the 160 or 170 that you've got to, but this is one of those ones where if there isn't a hiccup by the Bruins, they probably win this by 2+. So I'd lay the puck and a half and take the plus 145 on the puck line.
He's Carmine Bianco. You can find him at wagertalk.com. Dave Koken as well, wagertalk.com. You can get either of them for 3 days for $39. Use the promo code PZ39 so long as you're a first-time buyer. Dave, I got nothing on this game. What do you like?
Well, look, I mean, the Bruins, they wanted to win. And that basically wraps that up because they've got a pretty big lead over Tampa now. So it's not a great scheduling spot for the Bruins. The bad news is Florida's just kind of unplayable right now. Look, and I think I said this the day right at the deadline. I either said it here or on the radio show. I can't remember which. But when they traded Trocheck away, I mean, it was clearly a payroll slash. And that's just such a bad signal to a team. It's one thing if a team is out of it and they start dealing guys because it's like, okay, well, all the players knew that was going to happen anyway. And they bring up some young kids who have a lot of energy. And that's why you've seen some good performances recently out of teams like Anaheim and L.A. and even Ottawa. But for the Panthers, this is a team in the playoff race, and they're dealing one of their top 6 forwards away to save money. It just sends the wrong signal to the team. It's a team that's not well supported at home anyway. So if you want less fans in the stands, that's the way to do it. I mean, the scheduling dynamics here clearly favor Florida. If they were playing just a little bit better, I would take the plus money here. Instead, I'll just pass on the game. But I would not play
and I think that's really well put, Dave, because I agree. Scheduling-wise, Florida's the play. They're rested. They're ready to go. And especially with Boston coming off of an emotional victory on the road against Tampa Bay. But yeah, I'm with you. I can't play on this team, and I really don't want to get in the way of the Bruins either. Guys, before we get to our next game, I just want to mention some of the comments. Firstly, so Carmine has this running joke he puts up on Facebook. He lives in Toronto. All his friends are Leaf fans. And he puts up this joke where he says, if you bet $100 on the Leafs to win the Stanley Cup, you would make minus $100.
Yeah, no.
Yes, I know. It's a futures bet to win the Stanley Cup. I get it. So the reason I'm...
but you're saying your punchline, you're getting it all wrong, though. It's for people to understand futures bets. The Leafs are 14-1, which means if you put $100 on the Leafs to win the Stanley Cup at 14-1, you lose $100.
Okay, thank you for the joke. So with that said, Anthony M. and Roulette God and all of these people, whoever M45, if you put, somebody just wrote, if you put $50 on an 8-team parlay, you win $4,100. No, reminds me of Carmine's joke. If you put $50 on an 8-team parlay, you win minus $50. Don't do it, boys. And as for the gentleman who said Philadelphia has been one of the most consistent bets all year, you are 100% right. You would be up $950 if you bet $100 on Philly blind all year. There are only 2 teams better to bet all year. The first is the New York Rangers at plus 1,200 and Edmonton Oilers at close to 1,000. Zup Elliott. Washington Capitals, New York Rangers. This Rangers team, and Dave, we'll go to you first. They were absolutely rolling, and then they hit a wall. That wall is called the Philadelphia Flyers, and they haven't recovered. Washington on a back-to-back, but they've done well on back-to-backs this year. They just got walloped by that very same Philadelphia Flyers team. Our Rangers really need to win this game, but Washington is playing for first place in their division as well. Dave, I like Washington in this spot. I think it's a tough spot for the Rangers, and we've seen this with a lot of teams this year, I think the Rangers are done. Where are you going with this?
Well, look, I mean, the Rangers were rolling, and then bad news. Shesterkin who's clearly their goaltender, not only of the future but the present, gets in an auto accident. He's done. And then Kreider, who they re-signed, instead of trading at the deadline, he breaks his foot. So he's out in all likelihood. If they make the playoffs, maybe he gets back, but they're probably not going to make the playoffs.
No.
So it's just a really bad break for the Rangers. And the Flyers nailed them twice, and then St. Louis, they didn't play that bad a game against the Blues, but the Blues just wore them down and got them in the third period. The goaltending is an issue now for the Rangers at this point. The King is just not the King anymore. And
he actually never was the King, but that's another conversation.
Okay, well, he's going to the Hall of Fame, so there are some people who will strongly disagree with that.
The King there's only one the King, and it certainly can't be Henry Lundqvist. That they just named him that. But man, I'll tell you one thing: he dresses like a god. Sorry, Dave. Continue.
He's a great goaltender, but the better days, his best days are past him, and he's really struggling. So now they've got to go with Georgiev in just about every game, and he's I don't know, he might be a first-string goaltender down the road, but he's not right now. He's more of a backup. So they've got problems. I'm not sold on the Capitals here. I want to see what they do coming out of last night's game. It's a spot where a championship-level team should show some intestinal fortitude and really play a strong game coming out of a bad effort last night against Philadelphia. But I want to see. And the price is a bit of a hindrance here. I guess I'd play the Capitals if I had to take a side, but I don't really relish the thought of laying a price here.
Carmine Bianco, good sir, where are you going in this one?
Yeah, so what Dave said, I agree. The injuries to the Rangers obviously hurt. Washington's like 6-3 on the second of a back-to-back. It's one of those things where, I've talked about it before, of teams that are playing well above and I don't mean to disparage teams when I say well above their talent level, but when you see a team winning, 9 or 10, 9 and 10, and they're running really well, it's one of those things. It's the same with cappers. You're running really well, but the law of averages kind of catches up, variance, if you want to call it, using a poker term. And when they lose one, that one we saw with Pittsburgh, we've seen it with Washington, we're seeing it with Tampa Bay right now. I just think that the Rangers have a very tough schedule here on out. Washington probably bounces back from that game last night. This is Samsonov's first start against the Rangers. Georgiev hasn't beaten Washington. He's 0-2-1 with a 4.06 goals against average. It's one of those things where I think Washington does win tonight. They're the best road team in the East right now. And I think you have to if I had to lay a bigger price than what it is right now, I would not take it. I don't mind laying $1.20 right now with Washington. I think they're a pretty good team, and I think they get the win tonight. I have absolutely no opinion on this total. It's one of those things where Washington plays a very good defensive road game and probably comes away with one of those 3-1, 3-2
Carmine Bianco with us. Dave Koken joining us. Guys, make sure to take advantage of our new customer deal. $30 off of the 3-day all access. $39 in total. Head over to wagertalk.com. Use the promo code PZ39. That's PZ39. And for the rest of you people out there, that's PZ39. Boys, Philadelphia, Carolina. Philadelphia one game out of first place in their division with the same amount of games played as Washington. And Carolina in a little bit of a free fall, not what I thought was going to happen. Carolina needs to turn it around, and they need to turn it around fast. I don't think this is a great scheduling spot for the Philadelphia Flyers. I actually lean on Carolina here, Dave, plus 115. Where are you going?
Carolina or nothing here. I mean, this is a dead spot for the Flyers. Coming off the back-to-backs against the Rangers, which basically put them out of it. And then it's just a huge win last night against the Capitals. The negative for Carolina is the goaltending. They've had to call the guy up because the first two guys got hurt, and he hasn't been real sharp so far. But I think you get this is a really big effort spot for the Hurricanes. It is a potential flat spot for the Flyers. If you're a scheduling dynamics believer, you got to take what you can get here with Carolina at plus money.
Yeah, we're on the total same page on this one. Boys, before we get to Karm's thoughts, just remember, make sure to like and share this video. Please, please, please like and share. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, do so. And if you want instant notifications when we go live, click the bell. Carmine, what do you like here?
This is one of those games where I just don't want to bet it because, as Dave said and as you said, you can make a case. You can probably make a case for both teams here, but it's one of those ones where I just don't want to take it. The Flyers are playing well. They're one of the best teams in the East at home. They're not great on back-to-backs. I think they're 5-7, so they got a losing record on the tail end of a back-to-back. But it's also a thing of you don't know what you're going to get with Carolina sometimes. In that goaltending, obviously, issue. Nedeljkovic, I think, is the name of his goalie. I can't even pronounce that name, but we'll just call him Alex. Is in net for Carolina tonight. Hart's in net for the Flyers, and he's got a losing record, although it's only a 1-2, 3.42 goals against average against. I don't want to get involved with the price. It's really weird. The price on the Flyers is low enough for the way they've been playing at home, and so far that they want. It just seems like the books want you to jump on the Flyers at -135, -140. I'm not falling for it. I'm going to avoid this game. I think we'll probably see a few goals, so maybe over the total of 6, if anything.
Guys, we got March Madness right in front of us. March is one of the best months of betting, and a ton of college hoops coming up. I did a promo for Dave Koken. You get $80 off of the rest of his season. $199 you get Dave all the way through to when, let's see, who's going to win? Kansas State. When Kansas State makes a miracle.
State.
Yeah, I'm making this up, dude. They stink. Anyway, Dave's on a 10-0 college basketball run. Get $80 off the rest of his season. Head over to wagertalk.com. Use the promo code Koken199. And Dave, you can tweet that out. Please tweet that out. Koken199, $199 for the rest of your plays. Guys, a huge apology to everybody. I lost my 5% play last night in hockey. I was on the over in the Columbus-Calgary game. 38 minutes without a goal between the goals is not going to help anybody. Just so frustrated. I was telling Vivian last night, and Dave, Karm, you guys have been doing this for so long. When you win, like, if happy is at 10 and sad is at 0, when you win, you're at a 6. When you lose, you're at a -5. Losing for customers.
Well, that's that. No, I want to win every bet I make, obviously, but the way you keep doing this for 40 plus years, almost 50, is you just can't let your emotions swing like that. You do the best you can, and the results come in. You get angry for a few minutes on a bad loser. You get happy for a few minutes on a nice win, and then you move on to the next day.
You're a hell of a lot better at that than I am. I take it so bad. I mean, Karm, you can tell them, like, I'm literally screaming and texting Karm to bugger off, and oh my God, like I cannot handle losing plays for clients. I can't handle it.
Dave, when Lawrence is on one of these losing streaks, and it does happen to all of us at points throughout the year, but Lawrence literally reminds me of George Costanza of Seinfeld. Like, literally, he is so depressed. He's sitting there in a booth if we're eating, and he's just like, he takes that approach of, he's so annoyed, that look on his face, and you just want him to, like, get up and, like, just change it, do anything. It's almost like if everything you do is wrong, then the opposite must be right. But you can't change it up. You just follow your routine, keep picking your plays, and eventually you work your way out of it. It's like you said, Dave. You get up, your feet hit the ground, and it's a new day. So you just move on. But I love my messages
No, you
from
don't.
Prez. I love my messages. I literally click on my iPhone, hide notifications, and I'll come back an hour later, and it's like 142
They missed
messages
an
from
empty
the
net.
Prez.
He shot
He's
it
literally
wide.
giving me.
Damn goalie. I mean, listen, but we're going to talk Nashville and Dallas, but the V Prez just showed up on the chat, and I just want to say, Vivian, you did not know what you were getting into when you started dating me. I mean, literally, our kisses, our sex life, our working out, our eating, our sleeping, it's all based on whether I won or lost that night. And my humble apologies, but at least we have a summer because there's only baseball, and I don't lose my shit in baseball. Broke Mechanic likes the over in Nashville and Dallas. Let's go straight to that game. 5.5 is the total on that over. I think they've gone under head-to-head 8 out of the last 10 games. Karm, we'll go to you first. I actually like Nashville here a little bit. They've lost 3 in a row, but so has Dallas. I feel like we're getting a bit of a short price here for this Nashville game. So I like Nashville, and I like the under here, Karm. Where are you going?
Yeah, I'm not with Broke Mechanic on this one. I think his flux capacitor might not be working properly here. It's not fluxing or whatever. The Bishops 3-5-2 against Nashville, 3.56 goals against average. So yeah, you can look at that. But Saros against Dallas hasn't lost in regulation time. 4-0-1, 2.74. 8 of the last 10 in Nashville have gone under the total when these two meet up. So I know, Prez, you're not a big thing on something. These are some of the things you have to look at. As far as the game here, I'm probably going to stay away from the total. I don't want to pay the juice, and the juice is like $1.25 right now on the under 5.5. But I actually do like the Preds here. They're just one of those teams. I think someone said it on the show yesterday, or I heard it somewhere. When they're talking about teams, one team is more of a heckle than a jibe, and that's the Preds. I just can't figure this team out at times. I know you absolutely hate Nashville Predators. They've burned you a few times this year.
We're going to see them on Thursday, Karm.
Yes, I'm going to order a Nashville Predators jersey because I need to show up at the Scotiabank Center with anything other than Leafs apparel. So I will be sporting a Nashville Predators jersey. I'm pretty sure there's got to be somebody selling a PK Subban Preds jersey somewhere because he's gone now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. As far as this game goes, I'm gonna take the home team and the Preds here.
Dave Koken, before we get into that, just really quick, Fred, does my hair color signify whether I am losing or winning? No, brother. I'm 51 in 2 months' time. The fact that I have hair is all I care about. Dave, what do you like in this game?
Well, my thoughts on Nashville have been clear all season. I don't think they're a particularly good hockey team, and their special teams are just a major issue. That was their problem last year. It's still their problem this year. But this might be a spot where they get a win. Hudobin's in goal because Bishop's hurt, and he's great as a spot goaltender, but when he has to become a number one due to injury, maybe not so good. And I'm just calling up some notes on Hudobin here. What's he done on the road this year? Not bad. 10-6-3. Actually, about a goal higher on the road, though, than he's been at home. He's been great at home. I think I lean Nashville here, but it's just not a team that I have any faith in. And generally, I look for spots to play against the Nashville Predators. This isn't one of them. because I think they're going to win. But I wouldn't think.
Guys, Koken199. That's the promo code for his college basketball season. He's on a 10-0 run. He has a 3-pack up tonight over at wagertalk.com.
Well, it's a 2-pack because one of those is a free play. The free plays have been absolutely well. I'm just really hot right now in the basketball, and I think I've got like 8 out of 9 or something on the free plays. And one of the best bets tonight is a Mountain West Conference game, and that is a free play at wagertalk.com. The other two are best bets as well. I'm just checking Hudobin against Nashville, and he's 4-3-1, so nothing really to determine there.
This just in, Betty White texted me, Dave Koken, yes, you are very hot. Yeah, that's literally exactly what it said. Betty White.
Betty's 96 or 98 right now.
Let me.
Koken makes her wet.
I'd sign up to be like she is when she's 96 or 98 or whatever it is. I mean, that lady's amazing.
Here's the Viv parlay for the day, everybody, and then we'll get to the last minute of play. $10 wins 50. Pittsburgh Penguins on the money line, Edmonton Oilers on the money line, and the Tampa Bay Lightning on the money line. 10 pays 50. And Michael, you thought I was much older? Okay. Guys, let's get to it. Last minute of play. Buffalo plus 144 against the Penguins. The over and under is 6. I like the over here, Dave Koken, and I like Pittsburgh minus 1.5. I think we're going to get a 5-2 game. Where are you going?
The Penguins finally snapped that losing streak last time out, and they might be about to start a winning streak. This is a good hockey team. They just had a really bad stretch. Better to have it in February or March than in April when the playoffs are rolling. And that was a good win for Pittsburgh last time out. The offense got cranked up. The Sabres, not a team I have any faith in.
Carmine Bianco.
Yeah, I don't like the total here. I'm not really sure how many goals we're going to get out of the Sabres. The Sabres, the last couple of years, have played the Penguins tough at the end of the year, and they've won as +2 or +300 favorites against the Pens. But that's what Pens teams that were rolling at the end of the year. This is a Pens team that's struggling, but they did get a win. And good teams, when they finally sort of break that goose egg and they get a win, they string some together, like Dave said. We have to remember the last 2 years, Stanley Cup winners, both the Blues and the Capitals, went into the playoffs as very hot teams in the last couple of weeks of the season. I think Washington a couple of years ago won. I think they were like 11-2. I think they were going into the playoffs, and we know what the Blues did last year heading into the playoffs. If this Pittsburgh team wants to contend, they need to get some wins together. And I think another one against the Sabres tonight. I like the puck line, don't like the total. I think it stays under.
Dave, one of our viewers wants to know what the brand of your glasses you're wearing are. Do you know offhand?
No.
Okay.
They're high end.
Of course, they're high end. It's you, Dave Koken. This just in, Kathy Bates texted. She finds Dave Koken really hot. Tampa Bay, Montreal, over and under 6.5. Tampa Bay minus 185. And I love Tampa Bay in regulation here. And I also like the under 4-1 game. Tampa Bay wins. Karm?
Yeah, another one of those ones. It's tough. I'm not going to lay the $1.85. I don't want to lay the puck line. I'm kind of leaning to the under here in this game. I need to see what Tampa Bay is going to do with Stamkos out. I don't think they're going to catch the Bruins anymore. I think you take a guy like that out of the lineup, and obviously he's gone for the rest of the regular season, and he's probably going to miss a good part of the playoffs if he comes back at all. So for me, I'm going to lean under here, under 6.5.
Dave?
Not what I want to. I don't want to lay a price with Tampa right now. I mean, that's a bad loss last time out. They didn't play a bad game, but they lost a big game to the Bruins. From here on in, and this is where you can draw some parallels to college basketball, where you have teams in the NCAA tournament, they're already locked in. And the focus might not be there for what amounts to somewhat meaningless late regular season games. And you can slip in and take the dog in those games and actually have a shot to to steal a win. Tampa Bay now, they're not going to catch the Bruins, and their focus has to be on the playoffs at this point. I can see Tampa kind of just not mailing it in, but not being fully focused for these games down the stretch. So I'm not recommending Montreal, but if you're looking for a long shot tonight, Canadiens might be live.
Yeah, Dave, the one thing I keep thinking about with reference to this Tampa, because we're talking about last year as well too, is I agree with your spot in the sense of they're sort of locked into that number 2 spot in the Atlantic in all likelihood. Last year they had number 1 sewn up, and they really didn't play a meaningful game the last few weeks of the season, and it showed in the first round of the playoffs. They just weren't ready.
The thing is, they were all geared up to get that President's Cup, and I thought they wore themselves out down the stretch last year. It was still a fluke anyway. I mean, it's one of the. It was a rerun of the 88 World Series or whatever it was when Kirk Gibson comes out and wins the thing. Game 1, the Dodgers were going to get killed by Oakland in that series, and it was just a fluke. And what happened last year, you got Tampa up 3-0 in Game 1. They're going to kill this team, and they fell apart in that game, lose it in overtime, I believe it was. And that was the end of their season.
Longest last minute of play ever.
Listen, you're not one. You can't talk about lengthening the show because you spend 10 minutes talking about stuff I don't even know about at the top.
You're right, Dave.
Anyway,
you're right.
So all I'm doing, and we're trying to talk some actual betting philosophy here. I wouldn't run to the window to lay prices with Tampa right now unless you start to see some kind of a sign that they're getting geared up. That was a big game for them the other night. This isn't.
Guys, if you like the chemistry between Dave Koken and myself, check out First Pitch. It's our baseball show. It starts in a couple of weeks. Dave and I will be doing it every single day, and it will be live. Yeah, and Karm, what happened to your section on the Grand Salami, you bum? Ottawa.
I just don't. I'm just so busy. I have a couple pro working on for the summer in some big magazines. So it for all the big soccer competitions. So it's a little tough. I don't want to just give out a number or if I haven't actually put any time in looking at it. So it's a disservice to the guys who actually follow and bet money on it.
Yeah, Zekin, Koken isn't going to quit, dude. We love each other, Dave and I. Ottawa, plus 130 against the New York Islanders, over and under 5.5. Islanders are absolutely struggling right now. Dave, where are you going?
I guess I lean Islanders here. Peugeot's going back home here after having a great year for the Senators and now being traded to a contender. Islanders got to pick up these 2 points. It's in the price, but it's probably going to be Craig Anderson in goal for Ottawa tonight, and he's just not a guy you can trust at this point. I mean, the numbers are just not good. 3.35 goals against average. He's got you get that under 900 save percentage. Those are guys you just can't back. So, I mean, if you want to pay the premium here with the Islanders, maybe parlay them with somebody in a money line. But I'm not recommending that you do that. But if you want action,
Elliot, if you want a best bet from us, that would require us to pick our favorite game and hand it out on puck time. And the problem ultimately is it's what we do for a living. We sell our favorite plays, and it's how we can afford to do these shows. Karm, I like the Islanders as well here. I like them in regulation, so I'm going to drop that price a little bit and get it around even money. Where are you going?
Yeah, before we do that, is there any way our moderator can kick Zekin out of the chat? He just said Forza Lazio on there. I'm a Juventus fan. Lazio is a complete threat to my team winning the Italian championship again this year. Anyways, let's put that aside.
Zekin, we love you.
as far as this goes, yeah, listen, I said the other day, and I stand by it, that I don't know where the Islanders' scoring is. Over the past 10 games, going into that game against Montreal, they averaged 2 goals, and they scored a couple of goals in a 6-2 loss. They've got to find scoring in that lineup. The good thing is they play the Ottawa Senators tonight, so they probably they probably can find it. And I'm with you, Lawrence, on the regulation time bet here. I'd rather not lay $1.40 in case they fall flat on their faces.
Yeah.
If they're going to win it, they'll win it in regulation time and get the better price on the three-way line here.
TJ just asked, is Carmine doing Euro 2020 bets this summer? And the answer is damn straight he is. Last time the Euros came around, Karm, you killed it, over 60%, if I recall. I remember betting every play.
Yeah, I had a fantastic time. The guys who buy the Euro package, it should be up there. There was a special on there. I just wanted to say it right now. I know it's a hockey show. I have, and it's only going to be up for a couple days, a flash promo up Wager Talk has put up for 1 year of soccer. It's normally $9.99. It's $5.99. It's never going to be any lower than that. And in the summer where there's only baseball, and Dave, I know you love baseball, it is actually the only sport other than baseball that you can wager on during the summer. And there's a bunch of tournaments. So there's a lot of early stuff for you degens. If you need to get your action at 10 a.m. in the morning, there's going to be a ton of games going on, and I'll have plays up on all of them. And that's one of the magazines I'm now putting together.
Guys, so tomorrow's show with the kids, Andrew and Alex, make sure to check it out. And I promise it won't be 45 minutes long. Chicago and Edmonton, I like the over here. I do lean on Edmonton, but the over is where I'm going, Dave Koken.
Not going against Mike Smith right now. He is red hot. And over the years, we've seen when Mike Smith is hot, this is not a goalie you want to go against. The Oilers are playing well. Blackhawks off a good performance. They blew up Anaheim the other night, got 6 goals. Their offense is strong, but when they don't score, they have trouble. And I don't think they're going to get a lot against Mike Smith in his form right now. Smith Crawford, good matchup of veteran goalies.
Karm?
Yeah, it's weird, man. Yamamoto comes back for Edmonton. Slots into that number 2 line with Draisaitl again. And then Anastasiou, who they just picked up, a 30-goal scorer from last season, on a third line with Cassian and Sheehan. And they just have scoring throughout that lineup now. They're just a dangerous team right now. They're scoring, and I'm going to take them here.
LA Kings, Toronto. I like Toronto here in regulation a lot. I actually told everybody to bet San Jose against Toronto a couple of nights ago, and I was right. And we're going to get a bounce back tonight. Toronto in regulation, Dave.
Yeah, I thought Toronto might go with Campbell here against his former team, but it's going to be Frederik Andersen in goal. We don't know who's going to play for the Kings. Projected as Jonathan Quick, but no confirmed starter there. I hope it's Quick because the other kid is coming off an absolutely sensational game. I mean, he was absolutely great in the Kings' last game against the Golden Knights as they snapped the Vegas 8-game winning streak at the time. Golden Knights bouncing back with a win since that time. I think the Maple Leafs win here as well. It actually, as weird as it sounds, it's kind of a flat spot for the Kings.
Yeah.
It is. And big price. I think you can make a case for a -1 play on the Maple Leafs where you play half your bet on the money line at -175 and half your bet at the +140 on the puck line. So it reduces your liability some. If they win by 1, well, it's a push. If they lose, you don't lose as much. And if they win, you're happy. You got your money if they win by more than 1. I think the Leafs are in a good spot here.
Victor, Maple Leafs are not struggling on the road right now. They just beat Tampa Bay on the road. They just beat Florida on the road. And Dave, the boys in the chat are saying -1,000. You do a show without your glasses. Guys, I tell you,
I take the glass. The glasses are no big deal. It's just that the patch, I'd rather cover the patch. And the glare bothers me a little bit off the computer screen, so I'd prefer to keep them on.
And just to make mention, I've seen Dave's one eye, and it is spectacular. I mean, baby blue, beautiful.
It is baby blue. Yeah.
It is an absolutely stunning color. Best one eye you will ever see. Carmine, what do you like in this game?
Yeah, I agree in the sense of what Dave's saying about the -1. Leafs puck line here, I think, is a good play. They've got to bounce back, from that game of San Jose. They didn't play well at all. I'm not. I just have absolutely no interest in laying a $1.80, but you can lay the -1.5 here. I was a little surprised that Campbell's not in net against LA tonight, but I kind of get it. Campbell against Anaheim in the next one out, and you get Anderson in net. Kings are coming out of that. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I guess the thinking is that, well, the Kings probably know Campbell's weaknesses because he was there in practice every day. So save him for the Ducks tomorrow night and go with the number one guy. That's the only rationale I have.
Guys, one last game, and then we got to call it a show. And hey, Elliot, listening to everything from Dave and Karm and myself, I'm thinking Toronto in regulation is the best bet for you, my brother. Sorry, under in Minnesota. I think the Sharks are going to struggle to score. 3-1 Minnesota. Karm?
Minnesota's the play here. The Sharks played well above their heads, probably and even with a few wins, their best game in a long time against the Leafs. I think we see some regression tonight, and Minnesota just continues to surprise me. They just keep winning games.
Yeah.
This is a team that I thought would tail off at some point. They haven't. They have that wild card spot firmly, and the West is so competitive this year. There's a lot of parity there. They can make the playoffs, and these are games that they need to win if they're planning on making the playoffs. So I'll lay the $1.30 with the Wild tonight.
28 Vikings. Last two times you went against the Sharks, they ruined your parlay. No, my brother, you ruined your parlay when you made one. Guys, straight bets. The parlays are for fun.
I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
If you're playing seriously, if you're playing for amusement, go ahead and play a 12-team parlay. It doesn't matter. But if you're playing seriously, you just forget that stuff, okay? You got to grind it out. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Martin Jones was terrific last time out. Can you bank on him being terrific 2 games in a row? No. And he is confirmed tonight. The Wild, their analytics suggest that this is legitimate. They're actually playing playoff level hockey. They're playing some of the best hockey in the league. I look at their roster and I don't know why, but they are. And they should win this game. The Wild are the right side in this game, even at -130, in my opinion.
There you go, Terry. Somebody is not underestimating your boys. Guys, promo code's PZ39. That's $39 for 3 days. All access to anyone, so long as you're a new customer, first-time buyer. And Koken199 for Dave Koken's college basketball season. He's on a 10-0 run in college basketball. And guys, just so you understand, if you bet a 3-team parlay at -110 all the way through, you get paid 6-1. The true odds are 8-1. It is an absolute mathematical fact that if you bet parlays, you will lose your money. That's why when Vivian gives out her parlays, they are $10 parlays. These things are for fun. With that said, we get it. We understand. If you need to bet the parlays, keep doing so. Thank you all for so much fun, to be honest with you. 164 of you joined in today to talk with us. Hopefully we'll get that up to 1,000 soon. A real privilege to do this show with Dave and Carmine. Tomorrow, the kids, Alex and Andrew. Make sure to check us out. And also tomorrow, guys, we're going to go a little late. So hook up to my Twitter, please. The Twitter is at Prez Wager Talk. I have a dentist appointment at noon. I will be under. So I'm thinking the show tomorrow will start at either 1:30 or 2 p.m. It's very rare that happens. But follow us on Twitter at Prez Wager Talk, and we will let you know when the show is beginning. Boys, thank you so much. We'll speak. And Vivian, Man in the High Castle is not next. The Widow is next, and we're going to start it tonight. Love you all. Be well.
Good luck, boys.